You're listening to the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure.
Body second unit here, Ovechkin, he scores! Alex Ovechkin has 894, and the bench empties here at Capital One Arena. Ovechkin has reached the seventh. He needs one more to go one step beyond. He has tied Wayne Gretzky for the most all-time in NHL history.
John Walton, one of us, talked to him when the Caps were in town. He's got a historic call there last night for Alex Ovechkin, tied Wayne Gretzky. Unbelievable that it has happened, and it is so cool to see history unfold right before our very eyes. A guy that's chronicling everything in regards to that and everything across the National Hockey League is Frank Seravalli of the Daily Faceoff. Frank, welcome to Beyond the Pond. I'm going to start with a listener question. This comes in from Mike at The Athletic. He says, Frank, how much do you enjoy being the president of the Pro Hockey Writers Association? This is from Mike R.
Yeah, interesting question. I would say some days more than others. Generally, I am the punching bag for any writer that has a complaint about anything going on. And I think, you know, it's been enjoyable at times, but most days not all that fun.
How much have you heard from Mike R. In the Twin Cities metro area? Is he a guy that's constantly filling up your inbox?
In a good way, though, because he's an ally and he's on my side, so, and a good friend. So I'd say, yes, he's been very helpful to have help run this organization.
You would think a friend and an ally wouldn't set me up with a softball like that to get you started right off the bat, though.
Well, I mean, he is a unique guy.
Oh, my God. Amen. Again, we're talking to Frank Seravalli, one of the best in the business, NHL insider. He's got it all laid out. Usually is the one with all the breaking news, and he's one of our favorites here on Beyond the Pond. Let's start right off with the great chase. Alex Ovechkin has done what I think most, not that long ago, thought was unthinkable, but he's caught Wayne Gretzky, now tied for the greatest goal scorer in the history of the National Hockey League. What did you think of the events last night?
Unbelievable theater. I mean, really from start to finish, scoring in the first 4 minutes of the game to everyone being on the edge of their seat in the final minutes as he had what felt like 5 or 6 chances, even after Ryan Leonard had scored his first NHL goal on the empty net. I think the pomp and circumstance and the history is one thing, but one thing that stands out to me is just listening to Wayne Gretzky after the game, who said, you know, why are you here? And he always wanted to be the first person to shake Alex Ovechkin's hand when the record is tied or broken. But beyond that, he said, this is about the integrity of the game. And I thought that was really fitting, because you think about Alex Ovechkin and a lot of people want to put him in different boxes over the course of his career. This guy can't win. He doesn't try. He doesn't play defense. He's a one-trick pony, blah, blah, blah. Well, look, he does score empty net goals, and they count just the same. But the decision to say, you know what, to my coach and Spencer Carberry, I don't want to be on the ice with a chance to break the record with an empty netter. I mean, they would have set him up. It would have been possible. It would have been great theater to have hats raining down on him to complete the hat trick, his 34th hat trick in his career, and then also break the record at the same time on home ice with Wayne Gretzky in the building for the first time. It would have been amazing. But I love that he just said, you know what, I want to do it with a goalie in the net.
I think that's fantastic, too. I just can't believe that the way that whole thing unfolded. When you look at his career, and number 1 overall pick back in 2004. He scored a ton of goals, now 894 in his NHL career. And at some point, obviously, it could be right off the bat, he's going to break that record, and there will be a goalie in the net, and he will score it probably from the left dot, as he always does. But this, to me, and the record aside, 41 goals in 60 games after missing, a chunk of the season with a broken leg. To me, this is maybe his most astonishing season of his illustrious career. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, 6 weeks he missed with that broken leg, and beyond that, he seems to be moving better than he has in the last few years. he's making more things happen, and it's not just the goal scoring. The shooting is off the charts. He's got a career best 18+% shooting percentage this season.
Yeah.
And it's also happened in a season in which the Washington Capitals are challenging for the President's Trophy. I mean, this is one of the best teams in the league that we thought a couple years ago he's going to be playing out the string on this contract with a nothing team around him. And they've done a fantastic job of building this all back up again as he gets toward next year's the last year of his 5-year deal. And he's not only going to have a record in hand, but is going to have a really good opportunity to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought going into this season, they'd be in the same boat as Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yeah, I mean, they're just circling the drain here at the end of the season. And I thought the Caps, I don't know that I thought that they would contend for the President's Trophy. And here they are, 107 points, 49 wins, and leading the Eastern Conference. I had John Walton on last week. We didn't predict that going into the season. Maybe you saw it more clearly than we did.
No, I can't sit here and pound my chest and say that I did. I thought that they would be a playoff team based on the way that last season went, and I really liked the vibes that they had with Spencer Carberry, but I didn't see Connor McMichael having a career year and Dylan Strome having a career year and Alexei Protas being the absolute beast that he is. And to be honest, I'm not even sure that all of this is sustainable. Like, will Protas be a 30-goal scorer perennially? Did anyone see Tom Wilson after the significant reconstructive knee surgery having the year that he's had? Yeah. Probably not. Like, this team has a lot of mojo that the Seattle Kraken had 2 years ago when everyone had a fantastic year, and then they've really struggled to replicate or duplicate it since. Maybe that happens with this Caps team, maybe not, but then you see someone like Ryan Leonard enter the lineup and the comfort that he's found with each passing game. And then you see the other guys that they've got on the way with Cole Hudson and Protas' younger brother. And like the list goes on and on. Like, they've got an embarrassment of riches in their prospect system that they've drafted incredibly well there that's going to set them apart.
Of course, I got to get over to the Western Conference and talk about the problems the Wild are having at this point. But since we are in the East, I'll keep it there for a second. The Caps probably feel like the team to beat at this point. Who's knocking on their door? Is it the Maple Leafs leading the Atlantic, the Panthers, who are going to get Matthew Tkachuk back at some point? And he's going to join forces with Brad Marchand to become the most annoying tandem in the National Hockey League. Who is it that's knocking on their door there in the Eastern Conference?
Oh, I think the Panthers are the team to beat. They're the 800-pound gorilla. And it's the Stanley Cup defending champions. It's also the team that went to the finals 2 years in a row. But they're not at their full complement yet, to your point. Getting Tkachuk back, getting Aaron Ekblad back off of this PED suspension, getting a full dose of – it's not just Marchand and Tkachuk, but what about Marchand, Tkachuk, and Sam Bennett?
Yeah, you're right.
That's a handful. And then Seth Jones is kind of coming into his own a little bit after a pretty rocky start. So, like, I like every facet of the Florida Panthers. I think no matter which way the top of the Atlantic Division shakes out, and as tough as that first-round matchup with the Lightning might be, I think they're the team to beat in the East.
All right, so over in the Western Conference, we've been watching this Wild team struggle here, Frank. At one point, they were number one, not only in the Central, in the Western Conference. They had the best record in the National Hockey League. That's gone away, and the alarm bells are being sounded in the state of hockey as they come off a 3-game trip out east and grab 2 out of a possible 6 points. Either talk us off the ledge or push us over it. Where are your feelings on the Wild at this point?
I'm going to do a little bit of both.
Oh, good.
I'm going to tell you that this Wild team was not nearly as good as they showed at the start of the year with the record that you mentioned, and they're not nearly as bad as they've been during this downturn.
Yep.
There's so few teams in the league that can survive missing the pieces that they have, and I'd say the Wild are definitely not one of those teams. We know the struggles to score. I think they've defended a little bit better. They've gotten, obviously, some soft goals at times, but I'm a big believer in their goaltending tandem as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I just think they're such a different team once you get Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek back that I'm pretty bullish on the Wild. I've been saying for the last few weeks to anyone that'll listen, as people are saying, oh, this is a team that's losing their grasp on a playoff spot. No, they're not. It's math. That's not happening. And beyond that, I think the Wild are a live dog in round one because they're likely going to have those pieces back. And because even if a team gets the Wild in round one and they're a significant favorite, you might be able to survive against Minnesota in the first round. But I can almost guarantee you that you're going to be leaving that series bruised and bloodied.
Interesting.
This is a difficult team to play against. They're tough, they're big, they're strong, and I think they're more built for playoff hockey than regular season hockey. Now, again, I'm not predicting that they're going to win a round, and everyone knows how annoying that is, but this is a team that the brightest days are in front of them. They haven't even gotten there yet.
So, Mr. NHL Insider, what are you hearing about Kirill Kaprizov? What are you hearing about Joel Eriksson? Because that's the part, when you talk about things that are missing right now, those are the two big pieces missing from this lineup in a team that can't score. One of the 5 best players on earth is Kirill Kaprizov when he's healthy. What are you hearing?
You'd be better off asking your texter there, Mike R.
I thought you might say that.
I would say that it certainly seems like they're on track to be back before the regular season ends. That was their plan the whole time, which is why they didn't go out and spend any of Kaprizov's money on LTIR. And they seem to have gotten good news and look good while they're skating, that everything seems to kind of be falling in place. I know everyone's thinking, all right, this isn't soon enough. And I'm also not necessarily surprised by how long it's taken for Kaprizov. I had some friends that ran into him while he was on vacation during the Four Nations break. And while he's sitting on a beach, they said, yeah, I'm nowhere close to coming back. And that has proven true. Obviously, it's been a while. And, to speak to where the Wild are without him, like he was just finally passed for the goal lead by Matt Boldy. Yeah. So he's missed like 40 games this year. It's crazy to think how important he is to their team, how much he's been missing, and how much they can't wait to have him back.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I asked you about the who's the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. Let's turn it over to the Western Conference then. When I look at the powers, there is no easy path. Wherever the Wild end up, you say they're going to end up in the top 8 and they'll have a playoff opponent. I don't care if it's Winnipeg, if it's Vegas, if it's Dallas, if it's LA. There is no easy path in the West, is there?
No, there isn't, and that's why I feel really uncomfortable giving you a team to beat. But if you put a gun to my head right now and I had to pick one, I'd say the Dallas Stars. I think they're gonna, in a very similar vein to the Wild, that team with Miro Heiskanen back, and that part is even more unclear than the Wild situation as to when exactly he's going to be back, because he might miss a round or might miss part of a round. They're playing well at the right time. Rantanen is seemingly adjusting a lot better. They've got the deepest top 9 in the league. They really struggle on the right side of their blue line, but their left is as good as anyone. And they've got a fantastic goalie in Jake Ottinger. So I like Dallas. I tend to actually like them a bit more than Winnipeg. But the tough part will be going head-to-head against Colorado, because even after changing out half of their roster over the course of this season, the Avs are playing really well as well.
Yeah, they are. And we talk about all this. We haven't even brought up the St. Louis Blues, who have a franchise record 11-game win streak going here. They won't go away.
Or the Golden Knights.
Or the Golden Knights. You're right.
I wouldn't sleep on Vegas. Like, that defense, when they've got everyone playing and healthy, like, they're as good and mobile as anyone in the league.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. I go there all the time, but if fans go to dailyfaceoff.com, what are they going to find there, Frank?
They're going to find the most updated site in terms of news and information around the league, fantasy lineups. You can see lines and D pairs, starting goalies, and then commentary and opinion, and as well as breaking news. So it's got a little bit of everything.
I love it. I love going to that site. Love following you on the X Machine as well. Frank, thank you very much for taking time for me, for our listeners, and even Mike R. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good one.
There he is, Frank Seravalli from the Daily Faceoff. You can find him on Twitter at Frank_Seravalli, Seravalli. And Brett, when you talk about NHL insiders, yeah, you've got the Bob McKenzie of college hockey in Brad Schlossman, but this guy is the real deal. And we know how good Russo is here locally, but think of it on a global stage. That's Frank Seravalli. When there's breaking news happening, usually it's coming from his keypad.
Almost all of the time when I'm talking hockey, I have Daily Faceoff, especially with the line combinations. I mean, that's the best thing ever. I can look, and they update that thing regularly.
Yeah.
So
not only that, but the starting goaltenders. The minute someone announces who their starting goaltender, it's out there via the Daily Faceoff. So he does a good job. Of course, Russo was on with Guardsy yesterday, and I asked him, give me a shot.
Mike R, you mean?
Mike R. I asked him, give me a shot to give Frank, because I know they're close. He's close with everybody in the National Hockey League. He says, ask him about being the president of the Pro Hockey Writers Association. And yeah, he got a nice little giggle out of that. So how do you feel? Now you heard it from Frank Seravalli. You're sounding the alarm bells. When you talk about DEFCON, you're at DEFCON 1. Sounds like he's at DEFCON 6. Like he's not worried about the Wild at all. He thinks they're going to, and they'll be in the top 8.
Well, I want to say, for the record, I want this team to make the play. I wanted to make a deep run.
That's not a question. I get it.
I just want to reiterate that. This is my favorite team in all of sports. Yep. I love this team. I want them to win.
Okay.
I just worry that when they get Kaprizov back, which we still don't know when that is, they need to have that runway, and they need to. It's not like they're gonna, hit the ice running, so to speak, and be at their 100% best like we need them to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are elite athletes, though, too. So we won't know until they're on the ice and what they look like. Only time I've seen them, in the last couple of months is in a practice situation where they weren't taking contact yet. Apparently that's going to change here over the course of, especially you get through Sunday, then you got a couple of days off before the Wild host the San Jose Sharks. So maybe that's the runway that leads into one, possibly two of them returning to the lineup. I guess we'll find out.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.